In the last class, we have discussed about finding different materials and things, and today we are going to learn what are the properties of a material. So, why the property of a material is important, we are going to see. Suppose if you want to prepare or make a cricket ball, we prefer the cricket ball of rubber material. We won't prefer a mud cricket ball or a glass cricket ball, because mud and glass cricket ball you cannot play cricket, it will break. But if you take a rubber cricket ball, if a cricket ball is made of rubber, then it will be suitable for playing. So all the material, so depending upon the thing whatever we are using, depending upon that thing we have to choose the material, and all the materials will not have a same property, but all the materials, few materials will have different properties. So based upon those properties we have to choose which material is best for our thing. So here if you see, there are three properties of a material. One is transparent material. The materials through which things can be seen are called transparent material. For example, glass, water and air. Next we have opaque. The materials through which the things we are unable to see or not able to see, those are called as opaque materials. Third one, translucent. Materials through which only things are partially visible are called translucent material. Example, butter paper. So here we have few different materials, few things which are made up of different material. Now we have to find out which material is transparent, which is translucent and which is opaque. If you observe carefully, here the first one we have a water jug. So this is a water jug. If you see clearly, this is a glass material. Okay, so through this material we can see the things which are present on the other side. Through this material we can see the things which are present on the other side. For example, if you see here, the fruit which is present behind the water jar also we are able to see. So just now we discussed that the material through which things can be seen are called transparent material. So this glass jar is a transparent material. And if you see the second one, here you have a piece of glass, and behind the piece of glass a man is placing his hand. Yes, you are able to see that there is something behind the glass piece, but exactly you are unable to find it out what it is. So here you can partially see. That means what is partial? You cannot see completely, but partially, little bit you can see. So the materials through which only if it is partially visible, we call them as translucent material. This is translucent as only partially it is visible. And if you see the third one, here a wooden door is present. The material through which we cannot see what is present on the other side. Now the door is closed, wooden door is there. You can't see what is present on the other side of the door. So which you cannot see the things other side of the material, those are called as opaque material. So wood comes under opaque material. Now if you see here also we have few examples. So if you see here, which material this door is made up of, it is a translucent. Again, as you see, you are able to see partially that someone is standing, but exactly you cannot say who is that. And the next one is transparent. Transparent, clearly you can see what is present in the glass. The other side, you can see the things which are present on the other side. Now the third one is opaque. Opaque, already you know, which you cannot see what is present on the other side. So these three you have to know: translucent, transparent and opaque. If you see here, clearly you can identify which is transparent, translucent and opaque. Which can be seen very clearly, that is transparent, which you can see partially, that is translucent, and which cannot see, that is opaque. Now we are going to see the states of a material. Already you people, state of material. Already you know that in third lesson, rain lesson, we discussed about states of water. Water exists in three forms, that is solid, liquid and gas. In the same way, these materials can also be existed in three forms, that is solid, liquid and gas. Some materials change their state from solid to liquid and liquid to gas on being heated, and from gas to liquid and from liquid to solid on being cooled, it can change its states. So, we separate materials as solids, liquids and gases based on their state at normal temperature. Now, can you find it out? We all know that water exists in three forms, solid, liquid and gas. Like water, do you know any other material which exists in three forms, that is solid, liquid and gas? If you see clearly, here candle wax. We all know candle is a thing and this candle is made up of wax material. So, this wax also exists in three forms, that is solid, liquid and gas. How? Now you are seeing this candle. This candle is made up of wax which is in solid form. When you light the candle, when the candle is lighting, glowing, you can see the liquid drops of wax will be falling on the ground. So, wax, when you heat the candle, that solid will melt and turns into liquid. When you light the candle, so that wax will melt and turns into liquid. And at the same time, you can see the wax is escaping into the atmosphere in the form of vapor. You can see here in the form of smoke, that is vapor. This wax is escaping into the atmosphere. So, like this, not only water but some materials are present in solid, liquid and gas. If you see plastic, you all know your pen is made up of plastic. In our home, chairs are made up of plastic. So, plastic generally, when we see, it will be in solid form. But when you heat this solid form of plastic, it melts and turns into liquid form. So, materials, depending upon their temperature, these materials also exist in different states. Here they have given a small magic in your textbook in regarding candle that we are going to see. So, you all know, if you want to light a candle, what you have to do? You have to light a candle with the matchstick or with the help of other candle. How are you going to light the candle? You have to place the matchstick near the wick of the candle. This thread which is present on the candle is called as a wick. When you touch the fire with the matchstick to the wick, then only you can light the candle. But without touching the wick of the candle also, you can light the candle. But how? First thing what you have to do, first, like normally how we are going to light the candle, in the same way you have to light. You have to take a matchstick and bring the glowing matchstick near to the wick of the candle. Normally you have to light the candle. Then what you have to do, you have to blow off the fire. You have to blow off the lighting. When you blow off the candle, you will be seeing the smoke will be coming. When you blow off the candle, the smoke will be coming. So what you have to do, immediately you have to be ready with the matchstick or with the glowing candle, and you should not touch the wick of the candle, but you have to place the candle near the smoke. When you place a candle near the smoke, the candle is going to glow. So this is something, a magic they have given. So once look into that and try it in your homes and say me whether it is going to work or not. So this is about today's topic, that is properties of materials and states of materials. In the next class we are going to discuss the further topic.